Hi, my name is Ken. I'm a fourth year doing double major in computer science and business analytics. For this project, I was responsible as a plugin developer and the game engine developer.
Hi, I'm Duncan. I'm a computer science and physics major, and I'm the lead developer for ChatImproVR.
Hi, my name is Grace. I am a computer science major in my fourth year doing simulation and game programming, and I was the lead graphics developer on this project.
My name is Rudy Peralta. I am a fourth year cybersecurity and computer science major, and my main role was as an engine ergonomics developer and secondary engine developer.
So I kind of came to the team with this idea. I thought, okay, so we have lots of platforms for virtual reality. We have things like VR chat, we have things like Neos. And so I thought, okay, we have lots of platforms for virtual reality that you can kind of play games in, right? People have made games for VR chat. But then we also have a lot of games, right? We have things like Minecraft, we have Elden Ring, whatever. But there isn't a very good bridge between those two, right? And I thought, okay, if you wanted to make something that was like open world, but also have it use elements from another game, you really can't do that. You can't just take Minecraft and Skyrim and put them in the same game. It would just be way too hard because you're going to try to mod one game into the other. Well, what if you could just overlay them? What if they ran on the same platform and it was okay to run multiple games at the same time?
A good amount of us had a random idea of, hey, we like virtual reality, we like VR chat, but we don't like the closedness of the ecosystem.
The way that ChatImproVR is set up is through an entity component system, or a series of plugins.
Developers can create the plugins, or the players can just plug it in, push it in, and pick it out whenever they want.
The main idea with this is that a game developer can pick and choose different plugins that would change the aspect of their game with minimal influence from other features of the engine. For instance, we've created our own version of Galaga, the classic arcade game. To play this as a normal game, you would simply run the game plugin along with a 2D camera plugin found in the engine. From there, you can play the game as a typical computer game. If we wanted to play this in VR, all we would need to do is tell the engine to use the virtual reality plugin. We would then be able to play it in VR.
Each plugin doesn't have to have any of the context of any of the other plugins, so theoretically you could have literally anything happen. And because of the entire detached nature of the engine, it's pretty much extendable as far as you can imagine it. The entire point of it being a modular design so that pretty much anyone can put anything inside of their worlds and make them all work seamlessly. We decided, hey, why not make a full engine that can potentially be used to replace that, and make a full engine that was fully geared for virtual reality. That's essentially what we ended up making. We made probably one of the most developer-friendly engines that you can possibly make. Pretty much everything is built for hobbyists, serious developers. If you can think of it, it can pretty much be in the engine.
Along with our game engine, we have also developed the book, which is an accumulation of all of the resources needed to get started with developing games for the engine. Regardless of your experience developing games or programming in Rust, the book is intended to help anyone interested in game development get started with their own game. Here you can find instructions on how to install the engine, some information on how the engine is built and the architectures used to develop it, as well as a beginner plugin tutorial for first-time game makers. This documentation, along with a number of example plugins, provides a foundation for developers to create any kind of virtual space, whether it be a game to be played or just a space to hang out with friends.
Also had this sort of idea of the metaverse, right? That it's kind of a continuous space that you can move around in, right?
We basically took a virtual world platform, a place where players can kind of get together and interact with each other, and we made the entire thing available to everyone, open source, allowing anyone to create whatever they wanted out of it. So what kind of plugins do we have?
What kind of plugins do we have? Well, we have Galaga. That is one of my personal favorites. The second one is a game called FZ, a game that's loosely based off of the racer franchise F-Zero. And overall, we worked a good amount on getting kind of arcade-ish games to initially put into virtual reality, put them on canvases, and then just have a user play with those.
We developed a series of small games not only to display at the Oregon State Engineering Expo, but also to test out our own development architecture. Each of these games was made from scratch using the existing elements of ChatImproVR, and we implemented them within virtual reality and without, as you can see our team members playing with headsets and also on their computers. Our goal with these plugins is to allow players to interact with the engine with a variety of different game styles, from multiplayer racing games, to single-player shooter games, to open-world particle simulations.
Here we're going to show you how to download and run ChatImproVR. So first things first, you're going to want to go to our website, that's chatimprover.github.io, and then you're going to want to click here to download the engine. Scroll down and go to Releases, and then scroll down some more. And then if you're on Windows, you want to download simvrclient.exe. If you're on Linux, you want simver client. We don't have a prepackaged Mac OS version at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this here. And now you should be able to just check your downloads folder, double click on the client, and you're good to go. You can hit the connect button if you have a server set up in the address bar here, and it should connect you, and you're ready to run. There are a lot of deficiencies in ChatImproVR.
We don't have much time to do with it. We were given 8 to 9 months to work on this project, which is not enough time to develop an in-game engine.
For one thing, we don't have lights. There are no lights. There's no sound. There's no asset manager. There's no interface, right? There's barely any interface, right? There's a login screen and some really basic UI utilities.
We are students who try to achieve as much as possible we can do.
It's a proof of concept, right? And so it just requires so much work. This is barely a minimum viable product, but future of ChatImproVR, it's exciting. I think it'll be cool.